We're in there now. Hello, hello. Welcome to 6G Agenda. We are here to do another book club this week. I'm Andrew, here again to talk about what they won't. And I'm here with my man Justin Moore on the chords as always.
Yo.
Hey, and we talk about what they won't. And we're going to do a little book club session again. And this one's going to be big, man. ISIS. And I'm not talking about the terrorists.
Not the tourists.
I kind of am.
Different shit.
Kind of am, but I'm not, right? Because, they wouldn't have had that name if it wasn't for the goddess Isis, right? Let's think about that. But yeah, welcome in. I'm also not talking about Israeli Secret Intelligence Service, even though technically that could fall into the same category.
All right.
Did you know that was a thing before the Mossad, that's what they called it? ISIS.
What? ISIS?
Yeah, like Israel
They
had their own
called it
ISIS.
ISIS before Mossad?
Israel, before helping us make ISIS, had their own ISIS, and then they created one with us. I love it. Good history.
See.
It's good history to have. Welcome in.
Hell
welcome
yeah.
in. We're going to get into the esoteric, though. We're not going to be doing geopolitical shit. We're going to be talking about the goddess Isis, a.k.a. Venus, a.k.a. Hecate, Mother Gaia. Think of it. Ishtar.
Venus.
I mean, fuck. Think of a goddess, and that's probably her if it is the mother goddess. The Virgin Mary, the Mother Madonna. That's some heretic shit, but these guys think that's who it is, too. So we'll see. We're going to get into that.
But
Justin, have you heard of Isis, the goddess? I'm sure you have, right?
like a little bit.
A little bit.
It would probably, it wouldn't hurt if you like gave me a summary.
Well, you've seen The Lion King, right?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, everybody has, right?
A minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know. Isis really isn't featured in The Lion King, but the whole story of The Lion King really comes down to the story of Isis and Osiris. Okay. So we're going to get into the story of Isis, Osiris, and Horus later. But I mean, I could give a quick run through. So in the movie, right, the father of Simba, right?
Right.
He represents Osiris, and he gets killed by his brother, right? Who would represent Set or Typhon. And so Simba grows up. He's the chosen one, aka Horus. And what does he do? He overthrows Set or Scar. And boom, restores the kingdom into the sun, the sun god. That's why, like, the dad pops up and he's like in the sky, like the sun. Yeah. He's literally the sun, or he's in the clouds or whatever. Same shit.
Yeah.
Well, if you remember in Lion King, he goes, Simba asked his dad, he goes, "What's ours?" And he said, "Everywhere that the sun touches is our land." Right.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, wherever the land doesn't touch is not ours, and that's where Scar resided, right? So that's the idea of Set and Osiris, which would be the sun god. So in the story in Egypt, Osiris is killed, put in a coffin, cut up into pieces by Set or Typhon, and Isis goes around and she picks up all the pieces. She gets every one of them except for his phallus, which is his dick, right? And so she makes a golden one. And she performs like a ritual magic because she's like the goddess of magic. That's kind of what this comes down to. We're going to get into that. And she creates another Osiris to impregnate herself, essentially.
Whoa.
And then she has Horus, who is, because she did it through like magic. The idea is that, it was a divine son that was born, right? It was really Osiris incarnated. That's the story of fucking Isis and Osiris in Egypt.
That's crazy, dude.
Pretty crazy, because they argued Jesus was like that story, but we're gonna get into that, and I think that was done on purpose just to discredit Jesus, which is pretty fucking gnarly.
She sculpted dude shit the way she wanted. That's hilarious.
I know, dude. She's like, I'm gonna do it right this time, right? Okay, so let's get into an overview of Isis besides my rudimentary story of that Lion King and connection with it, which is pretty cool if you think about it. I mean, that's a real connection.
Yeah, that was good shit.
Yeah, so Isis began as a local Nile Valley mother magic goddess, and she evolved into a national protector, became a cosmic global mystery goddess in Greco-Roman culture, and then finally she was an kind of an esoteric archetype for wisdom in modern occult traditions. So we're going to get into that, but she's kind of the source of, like, you remember when we talked about Hecate and how like Extentacion was talking about, summoning Hecate so he could like sell his soul to be whatever.
Yeah.
Well, that's her, man. Same deity.
Okay.
So pre-dynastic roots, like before 3100 BC, Isis emerged from Nile Valley, somewhere in Egypt. Some argue that the story, now this is where it gets really crazy. Some argue that the Mayans culture is older than Egypt's, and that the Mayans culture had this story of Isis first, and then it traveled to Egypt, which is crazy. Like, I think that that's people not understanding the idea of Atlantis and the idea of like everything spreading out, right?
Yeah.
Because they think it spread from Maya to there. It could have, which would be really nuts. That would mean that Atlantis could have been in America, which is what some people argue. Some people think that America is the old Atlantis. Could be.
Well,
so anyway, they had the Isis story in South America. And in Egypt, they had the same story. But that's where it became prominent. So in mainstream history, it comes from the Nile. I just said all that just to make sure, like, anybody that heard about the Mayans giving it to the Egyptians, that's not really mainstream shit. Like, that's not many people know about that. So
yeah,
she's
I didn't know nothing about that shit.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. Like, I think the Mayans could have been an older culture. We don't know. Fertility magic and protection are the things that she kind of represents. Easter comes from the goddess Ishtar. A lot of people know that. Well, the goddess Ishtar is Isis in the Babylonian days. And so in springtime, they would do fertility rituals during Easter time.
Okay.
That's really the source of that holiday. It really has nothing to do with, like, eggs and bunnies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I never really thought it did.
Right. So it comes from the Ishtar, like fertility rituals. During the spring is whenever you would do fertility magic rituals or try to have babies.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, that is the time whenever most animals do that too. So it kind of represents all of nature, which Isis does represent all of nature, and that nature has these cycles. It's pretty deep, dude. There's gonna be levels, so I'm gonna try to ease our way into it.
Okay.
So her name means she of the throne, suggesting the original embodied royal power and legitimacy of the Egyptian culture. And so in the Old Kingdom, she was a magical mother as it kind of progressed into the 2000 BC era. And you can see clear inscriptions appear in pyramidal texts about her, and she's paired with Osiris, helping resurrect him with magic. And then she emerges as the divine mother who protects and resurrects the king afterwards. And that's towards the Middle Kingdom, where she's more becoming associated with magic and healing, mothership, and kingship, often shown suckling her son Horus, which later strongly influenced Christian Madonna and child iconography. So a lot of people don't know that the whole, I don't know if you've seen like Virgin Mary, she's like, suckling Jesus, that comes from that exact statue originated in Egypt about Isis and Horus. Now, some argue that Christians chose to use that iconography, and then that actually is used to discredit it through the mystery schools, which is like kind of a 5D chess thing that I won't get too far into. But for people that know, that's probably what's going on there. So in the New Kingdom, her cult spreads across Egypt, connecting to like Greece and everywhere else. And then you start seeing her heavily in the funerary texts, like the Book of the Dead, which is really just a initiation ceremony done through the analogy of dying, right?
Yeah.
So the Book of the Dead, there's like a literal one that we have that we could read that shows like how the Egyptians would mummify people and put them in the tombs and stuff. But the actual Book of the Dead was more ceremonious rites that you would do to prepare yourself for death and rebirth in this life. And then also for, if you did it right, then there would be, for the end, the ceremony for whenever you leave this life.
Yeah.
But they don't really show that in the actual books that we have.
Where did they get what they're showing us in the books? Like, where did they get that?
Some say that they actually contacted these. Here's the thing, though. So Manly P. Hall says this is all an analogy for nature, and that they had such a deep understanding of nature that they created these deep, elaborate analogies about nature, personifying it as like Isis, Osiris, Horus, when in reality it just represents the nature cycles. right?
Yeah.
And that could be true, So because that's what they are, they're pagan, which means they worship nature and they study and worship the cycles of nature. So that's probably where the origins of all this came from, is just studying your environment.
Yeah.
Imagine getting that much knowledge off your environment that like you understand it so well that you create like personified stories, mythologies that literally sound like real people could have lived. But in reality,
bro.
it's just telling a story about the fucking winter solstice. You know what I
That'd
mean?
be like all you do if you're like that immersed in that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I would say I'm kind of like that. That's what I do with all this shit, right? I mean,
You
I'm
are
kind of like that.
close.
Yeah, I'm not far. Oh, so I don't know if our listeners, if you've noticed the cover image for this episode. It was I'm not gonna be able to bring it up, but it's on my phone. But I took that picture whenever I was at the exhibit for Pompeii. I went to the science center. They had the Pompeii exhibit where they had like, people that were stuck in ash, and they're like,
Yeah.
and then they had like a little room off to the side where they had like, they showed all the sex shit that they did because they were super into sex stuff. I think we talked about that. But I took a picture. Yeah, I took a picture of this lamp, and it's a bull, which represents Osiris or Jupiter. And then you have it had a crescent moon on the bull's head, and that represents Isis. And so this lamp literally kind of represents the shit we're talking about tonight a little bit with Isis. So I chose to take the picture that I took at the Pompeii exhibit. And that's a real lamp from Pompeii. So you guys should check out that picture. Yeah, check out that picture.
I looked at it. I was wondering if that was something you had taken or if you just pulled it
Yeah,
off of
I
Google or
snapped that
something.
motherfucker myself, dude. I mean, I know it's
Good
a great
shit.
angle. It's a good angle. It looks good. I mean, some could say I should have been a photographer, but I don't like fucking staring at things too long. You know what I mean? Like, how long do you guys stare at a thing to take a good picture of it? You don't get it the first time.
Too long to where I forget to take a picture. Sometimes you just gotta live in the moment.
Exactly, and that's my point. Like, if I'm sitting there trying to take a picture of a thing to make it a perfect picture, the moment of it being beautiful is gone. Now it's a job.
Yeah.
Now I got to sit there and like take this picture. You know what I mean? And so that's why I don't want to.
Because then, like, especially, dude, if you see something, you're recording it, and you're living in that moment through your phone screen because you're trying to make sure you get everything on recording.
You ain't remember that moment.
Fucking sucky that is.
Yeah, dude, you're not even gonna remember that moment unless you go look at that camera, that picture. You know why? Because you're doing a Men in Black fucking flash on your eyes while you're taking the memory, and so your memory's gone. But at least you got it in your phone, so you can look later.
Yeah.
Think about that, dude. People do that with their kids all the time. They'll sit there and like videotape their kids, and then they're not really watching. They're just looking through their phone. Dude, you're mind wiping yourself because you don't remember shit you look at on your phone. You're sitting there on your phone, fucking. If you forget shit, crazy. That's wild, dude. People need to parent right. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking around. Just playing. In Rome, Isis became very widely popular with mystery rites, promising personal salvation, initiation into hidden knowledge, and magical protection. And so Isis became the mother goddess that these esoteric occult cults would worship.
Mm-hmm.
Core archetype in Western esotericism later, the Renaissance Hermeticists saw her as a personification of nature, veiled and mysterious. Do you know what she's veiled in, Justin?
In mysterious.
In the ether.
Exactly. Oh, you said mysterious. And mysterious. I thought you said in mysterious. Yeah. I was like, that's a weird way of saying it, but okay.
Yeah, the veil over Osiris represents the ether that she's in, right? So there's 5 elements. There's Jesus Christ. There's fire, water, earth, and air, right? But then there's that 5th element, ether. And so the ether is that kind of etheric realm that you can't really access with your conscious mind, but you can if you're an initiated member, and they believe that the ether is the veil over Isis. And when you can penetrate the ether, you can then penetrate the veil of Isis and therefore learn the wisdom that she has to offer.
Dude, they're trying to penetrate that ether.
Dude, they're penetrating that shit, bro. And so that's cool, you know what I mean? Because then you come out on top after that, right?
Yeah.
At least if you're into this, if you're into these esoteric societies. Pretty crazy shit, dude. Pretty crazy shit. So I've got this page here. I'll bring it up on the internet so I don't have to make you guys look at a picture of a thing physically. So bear with me here.
We're bearing.
All right, let's get it. Let me find it. Come on, you got to have the one from the book.
Are they holding out on you again?
Yeah. That's what they do to us, dude, because we talk about what they want, bro. They'd be like, no.
I'm telling you, bro. The sites have learned when we're active.
Yeah, dude. Them motherfuckers, dude. That's cool. Whatever. I still got the physical picture. So you see this right here?
Yeah.
That's ISIS.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
Now, you see how she kind of looks like the justice goddess, like with the two with the scales?
Yeah.
She does represent liberty. Lady Liberty is represented by Isis, which again, Lady Liberty, the Statue of Liberty, represented by Isis. So let's get into this. This is an excerpt from the book. This is a page that my son ripped out of the book here that we're reading. It's great having little kids. The little kids fuck with everything. So it's awesome because now I can present it to you, right?
Yeah,
and
I was gonna say, dude, that's like looking official as hell.
It's meant to be, right? It's meant to be. And so, okay, so here we go. So it says, I am Isis, mistress of the whole land. I was instructed by Hermes. Remember the episode about Hermes? She was instructed by Hermes. And with Hermes, she invented the writings of the nations in order that not all should write with the same letters. She gave mankind their laws and ordained what no one can alter. She says she is the highest, eldest daughter of Kronos, aka Saturn, the wife and sister of the king Osiris. Wife and sister of the king Osiris. And she rises in the dog star. Remember the dog star Sirius, where we talked about like that's when like these satanic murders tend to happen during like the dog time in summer?
I think that, yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's why that happens, because it relates to this.
Okay.
I am she who is called the goddess of women. I am she who separated the heaven from the earth, and I pointed out the paths to the stars. I have invented seamanship. Awesome. And she has brought together men and women. Oh, wait. Yeah. Brought together men and women. I have ordained the elders shall be beloved by children. With my brother Osiris, I made an end of cannibalism. I have instructed mankind in the mysteries, and I have taught reverence of the divine statues. I have established the temple precincts, and I have overthrown the dominion of the tyrants. It's pretty crazy, dude. I mean, she's pretty much saying she's done everything that God says he did inside the Bible.
Yeah, dog. She's like,
right?
Fuck with me. I've done it
Right?
all.
She's saying, I'm the one who fucking dropped the Tower of Babel. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of crazy, dude. Like, what do you believe at that point? I mean, that's why we're going to keep reading and see what we... Because the people that worship her in this tend to do fucked up things. So it's like, well, how are we supposed to just assume that you're correct? You see what I'm saying? Because Typhon, the one who kills Osiris, did you know that some of the traits of Typhon are pride or sovereignty? Now let's break that down. So they call sovereignty prideful, because if you care too much about your soul identity, too much about your own self, then you have too much pride and you have to care more about the collective everybody. That sounds a lot like communism, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly. And so again, they act like they're the righteous ones, but when you really look into their shit, they're not the righteous ones. They're devils. I mean, this is the devil's fucking philosophy right here. This is how you trick people. You trick people into believing that they're really the good guys. They were killed by this prideful, terrible, dragon god and everything else. And so the slaying of the dragon is the slaying of Typhon, the slaying of sovereignty, the slaying of pride, they say. But then when you look at the other meanings, there's deeper meanings to it, which is really getting rid of your freedom. And the irony of it all is that she calls herself Lady Liberty.
Damn.
So the face and form of Isis was covered with a veil of scarlet cloth, symbolic of ignorance and emotionalism, which forever stand between man and truth. Isis lifts her veil and discovers herself to the true and wise investigator who unselfishly, humbly, and earnestly seek to understand the mysteries which surround him in the universe. Those to whom she reveals herself are warned to remain silent concerning the mysteries which she has seen, which is why they're all secret societies that worship this and that go get the knowledge from her. The great admonition of the wise men was, if you know it, be silent. To the vulgar and profane, the infidel, the disinterested ones, she does not uncover her face, for they could not understand the secret processes of the individual worlds. And this is why 6G agenda is not for everybody, because the shit we talk about, bro, is not for uninterested people. Like real shit, whether or not the ISIS shit is like, some of this is legit that they're saying, but it gets weird eventually. And that's what we're trying to break open. Where is this evil and where is it not? Because it can't all be bad. But there's some truth in it. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of the point of us going through this. But again, with the uninterested part, like nobody's going to hear this if they're not interested in learning about the universe and like their place in it and the point of it all, right?
Yeah.
We aren't talking about fucking, you know, weird shit. You know, like you come from, you know, starseed from Pleiades and, you know, we're fighting in the Galactic Empire. And I remember my past life whenever I was taken during the Cold War and they sent me into the Galactic Empire and I went and fought and then they brought me. It's like, come on, dude. Like, this is the type of conspiracy shit that a lot of people listen to that aren't really interested in anything but being fucking dumb or being led astray.
That's like a movie script. That's why people would want to listen to that.
It's like a CIA operation. It's what it seems like. PSYOP. But yeah, so that's my point. You've got people that, you know, just most people ain't going to want to hear that shit. So anyway, fun times. Welcome in, Sarah Boston. How you doing? Harpa and DARPA rearranging our weather disease in deer populations. That's so funny. We were just talking about deer in the pre-show. And you brought that up. I almost thought that we were on the show for a minute when we were talking about that. Ether,
yeah, I was about to say. I was thinking for a second.
The demonic realm of ether is now so thin it's going to disappear. Hell yeah. What's up, GZ Mac? Welcome, welcome. How we doing? We're just getting into ISIS shit. Just kind of dipping our feet. We're already 20 minutes in. Okay, so I took some notes today about ISIS. Bear with me again, because these notes are not going to be cohesive, but I'll try to make them cohesive.
Okay.
Because I feel like I have enough context that I can just look at my notes here and maybe give you guys something. So I'm going to give it a shot. So Isis, the virgin of the world. She represents nature, Mother Gaia. She represents Sophia in Gnosticism, which is knowledge. Now, if you read in the Quran, nature is Allah. So that means that they worship Isis in Muslim practice, Islam, which makes sense because don't they have a crescent moon as their fucking flag?
Yeah.
The same crescent moon that we're talking about when we're talking about ISIS, right?
Interesting.
So the worship of Isis, you can go find out more about it when they worship at the cube of Mecca, the black cube. Remember, we talk all the time about that? She's the eldest daughter of Kronos, which is represented by the black cube. So, of course, you would worship her at the black cube of Mecca. Isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah.
So she's apparently related to Hermes and Prometheus, which, again, we know who Hermes and Prometheus is from the past. These are the people that rebelled against God and gave us knowledge, right? This would be Lucifer. This would be the snake in the Garden of Eden. So therefore, Isis does represent wisdom. She also can represent the word itself. The root word of Isis, where it comes from, is Isa, which can represent ice or water, because all life comes from water. And that gets back into that water god principle we talked about before, remember?
Yeah.
It's funny that like the sun god could be the water god. It's like a vice versa thing. It's very weird how they do that.
It's almost confusing.
Yeah, because then later it's going to talk about how fire is the main element. Now that's the one where all knowledge comes from and everything manifests out of. And it's like, but I thought water was the thing.
Yeah, like what about water?
Exactly. It's a fun time.
Dog.
But that's why it's like you read it, you figure it out though. You know what I mean? Because it's not unfigurable, you know?
Yeah.
So Virgin Mother gave birth to life. She is the nature queen, the queen of the elements, the queen of divinity. The queen of the elements makes sense because whenever you do magic, you manipulate the elements or nature to manifest what you want. So it says that she's Hecate. Juno is also another name for her, or Venus. Ancient learners and builders worshipped her. Queen Mu in the Mayas, remember when I talked earlier about the Mayans? Her name was Queen Mu. And then apparently that went over there to Egypt. Now, this is where it gets really weird, dude. Okay, because we talked about this before. Noah, son of Ham. The son of Noah, Ham, is apparently these are the grandfathers in the kinship of Isis and Osiris, this whole pantheon. And so that gets into, remember before when I talked about how Osiris and all them are represented, or Ham and them are represented by Nimrod? We talked about this a long time ago. Okay, and then I said Nimrod, he got banished out of Babylon, and then they spread out, right? And really that represented Atlantis and how they spread out everywhere. They're saying right here that Ham, which I said was Nimrod, she's related to Ham, which makes sense that would be Nimrod. Huh. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Crazy, bro. And then that gets into the biblical fucking Noah flood, the whole deal, right?
Damn, bro. Interesting how everything intertwines.
I know. So I have this Buddhist canvas right here that I have. I might get rid of it now because I see it right here. But let's look at it real quick because I want you to see this. Fell off the wall the other day. You weren't on the episode with me the last episode. I'm doing the episode. This motherfucker just drops off the wall so loud. I thought everybody heard it and shit, but I don't think so. But it says this: thousands of candles can be lit from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Okay. So I say that to say this: spirit, intellect, and material. From one light, three lights. Her light lights all three lights. And that's where that philosophy comes from. That's on that canvas right there. It's literally from like the story of Isis, which, it ain't that bad. But I just think that's funny. So the idea is that like one person can light, their philosophy can enlighten others to their level, right? So, and then it doesn't fade. The philosophy doesn't fade. So the flame doesn't go away because it's that strong. It's truth. Anyway, pretty deep, man. So Solomon was the story about the sun, and his wives would be all the planets, according to this. And there was 360 days in the year at this time. And 5 days were added for the birthdays of the 5 gods, the children of Ham, Osiris, Isis, and the rest. But Typhon also represents Loki as well, allegedly, which is crazy. I didn't know that.
Interesting.
So Isis says she was instructed by Mercury, which is the same thing as saying she was instructed by Hermes, as I said earlier. Isis represents the Philosopher's Stone, the universal medicine, and the great work in Freemasonry. She's the creator and destroyer, just like Shiva. She would be the representation of Shiva. Whenever you look in front of CERN, you see the statue of her. Same thing, dude.
Damn.
I know. So there's some really crazy shit as we go. So there's 2 pillars, and in between the 2 pillars, there's the G or the I or the whatever in Freemasonry.
Yeah.
Well, Isis stands in between 2 pillars because Isis represents. Hold on here, because it's gonna get fucking deep, son. I gotta get it out so I can show you. Isis represents truth. In between the 2 thieves of truth, the 2 thieves of truth would be the pillars.
Yeah.
The thieves of truth. Well, Jesus was crucified, and I believe he was crucified between 2 thieves.
Was he?
Truth is crucified between 2 thieves of contradiction. Jesus in the Bible was crucified between 2 thieves. And it said of contradiction. Now, one of those thieves was named Jesus. That's contradiction. That's contradiction, dude.
Yeah,
whoa, dude. That's fucking crazy, bro. Like,
what the fuck?
That's crazy. Anyway, so that's some shit. That's some straight drop, bro. That you ain't gonna get anywhere else, dude.
That's some straight drop, dude. I wonder how many people were named Jesus back in the day like that.
Probably, definitely more than one.
Probably for sure, hellas, dude. I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, or maybe it was just one, and it was literally put in the Bible just to show you the contradiction aspect, the truth within. I think that's the case.
What are the odds?
There might be a little symbology there. There might be some symbology there. So Isis is the virgin immortalized in the constellation Virgo. Sorry, I'm reading Cake in a Cup. Cake in a Cup, what up? Welcome, welcome. She says, or he, she, I don't know. It says tradition and apocryphal text, like the Gospel of Nicodemus, name the penitent thief as Dismas, the good thief, and the mocking thief is Justus. So those were the people that were crucified on either side. I wonder who changed it to Jesus then, which would make sense that they would fucking alter that later. Justus is kind of close to Jesus, though, if you think about it. So Isis was, you would find her statue on a dark stone, kind of like Saturn, with ram's heads, like Aries, and a serpent beneath her feet, which would be like Typhon. And so these are kind of symbols you'll see a lot. The ram's heads, dark stones, serpents. That's all in magic, dude.
Yeah.
Think black obsidian, the snakes. And then you see
about looking at Harry Potter, dude.
Yeah, dude, that's it. Right, exactly. That is what the what do they call it in that? Sorcerer's Stone? It's the same concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally the same thing. So she here it is. She carries with her the sacred fire, immortal flame of nature. So there's a sacred fire, there's an ether, and then there's water. And all these things are equally as important. You see what I'm saying? So it gets a little weird. But she's the symbol of justice and stands between the pillars, like I said earlier, as truth between the thieves of contradiction. Which, if you think about it, plays out all the time and every day, all the time. You have people arguing about this over here and they're wrong. You have people arguing about this over here and they're wrong. And the truth is right here. You see? We see that all the time, dude. Whether it's Charlie Kirk, the feds killed him. Tyler the assassin killed him. And the truth is probably in between. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of shit. Where the moon landing, like, no, we went there. We didn't go there. We probably went there with different tech. You know, like that kind of shit. It's very funny how that plays itself out.
Yeah.
All right, cool. This is the Harpocrates, which is also usually depicted next to her, is always depicted with a finger to his mouth. And we see that a lot in Hollywood. You'll see a lot of people do that.
Doing the shush shit.
And then they do the eye thing.
Yup.
Which is just the eye of Horus, dude. People think it's like, you know, this whole thing. It's the eye of Horus. Think about it.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't mean it means anything different than fucking the devil. You know what I'm saying? But
it's just turned a little bit.
Right. They just cock it up a little, you know? Yeah. That makes more sense to me that it would be related to the ISIS cult, you know? Whenever you know that there's things like it in it. Especially whenever you know that the Egyptian goddess was called Madonna. And in Hollywood, we have a woman called Madonna. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Are you going to tell me that when Madonna does this or when she does this, that she's not doing a callback to ISIS whenever her name is literally pretty much the same thing as ISIS, right?
Yeah. And I wonder, like, the people who did that originally are now getting people who, like, don't even know what the fuck it is to do it. Just
doing it just to do it. Yeah, they don't even know. Yeah. I mean, I feel like you kind of cool. I feel like some of them kind of have to be initiated into this ideology to an extent. You have to have this philosophy or else you're not going to be allowed to propel forward. But
for sure,
maybe not 100%, but I think to an extent, like we talked about earlier, some people get grandfathered in. You know, we talked earlier. I watched the new, it's going to be a little off topic, but it's going to be super fun. You guys are going to love it. I watched the Diddy documentary. The new one with 50 Cent produced.
Yeah.
Completely whitewashed. Really, it's everything you could have found. You know what I mean? They threw a couple things in there. But here's the thing I didn't know that kind of blew my mind. So Diddy got famous because of a basketball game that he did that had like these rappers that were kind of famous in New York at the time or something. And he was doing like a basketball game, right? And they had these doors, like you had to buy tickets. And so if you didn't buy tickets, at the time, there was this thing that would happen where people would bum rush the doors.
Yeah.
And they would try to like, you know, oh, I don't care if I have tickets. We're just going to go rush the door, right? Well, the way that this place was set up was as you went down the stairs, the doors swung towards you and they wouldn't swing into the court, you know?
Right.
And so these people got piled up at the bottom. 9 people died from like suffocation. Like people all just died from like getting stuck down there. And so it reminded me a lot, and this is gonna fuck you up. It reminded me a lot of Astroworld, you know?
Yeah.
And so I kind of like looked it up. I was like, I wonder, you know? So I looked it up and I looked up when Astroworld was. I don't know what prompted me to do this, dude, but this is gonna be the craziest shit ever. So Astroworld, let me make sure I get this right. Astroworld occurred on Diddy's birthday. So that's when that happened. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. And Diddy, whenever that happened, see, because Diddy got famous off the same thing. And then something happened with Travis Scott, and it was on Diddy's birthday. And who do you think was the one to uncancel Travis Scott as soon as that happened?
I imagine Diddy was?
Dude, yes. Damn. Diddy instantly was trying to get him back in the show, doing shows and everything else. So I was like, what the fuck? So you have this instant, like, weird crisscross, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to show it because I feel like this is one of those things like people are going to be like, yeah, okay. I'm not going to make everybody go look this up. So Astroworld tragedy, we'll look that up. When did that happen? That was November 5th, 2021. Diddy's birthday. That happened November 4th. And then you have, I wonder when Travis Scott's birthday is. What if it was October 28th? No, it's not. All right, so you got, because that was when that happened at the courthouse, or at the basketball game, was October 28th. So that'd be so crazy if they had the same crisscross there. But they don't, but this is good enough. So November 4th, Diddy's birthday. November 4th, Astroworld. Oops. But then you also have, huh? November 4th. Sorry, here. November 4th. Oh, it was on the 4th. Well, hold on a second. It definitely occurred on the 4th, dude. I fucking read the 4th. Oh, nah, bruh. This definitely happened on the 4th, bro. When the fuck? Okay, so when I looked this up yesterday, dude, it said the 4th. Somebody's playing games. I'm just kidding, dude. Maybe it did say the 5th. But you know what? Pretty fucking close. Maybe it was the fucking 4th in Israel. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Who gives a fuck? It was close enough, dude. All right, well, whatever. Either way, you know what? I'll redeem myself. Diddy's dad sold drugs with Frank Lucas in Harlem, New York. And if you guys know who that is, that was the guy from American Gangster who was fucking trafficking heroin through bodies from the military from, in China or whatever. You know what I mean? Obviously doing this with the government. So whenever Diddy's dad gets shot in the head in Central Park while he's sitting in his car on a drug deal gone bad, it could have been a fucking FBI cover-up, dude. And then, like I said, that started all this, kids get grandfathered in. And so what happens? Melvin Combs' son becomes this huge superstar. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyways, all that to say, fuck Diddy.
Jeezy Max said he was born in 69 and he likes the 69 with dudes.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, that motherfucker, he did, dude.
God damn it, dude. That's so right. Let's check out the comments for a minute before we get into the book. All right, so we got okay, either side, Cake in a Cup said that spear was special too. Yeah, no, it's in Constantine, in the beginning of Constantine. After going through all these studies, I need to go rewatch that movie as well. Madonna, heaps of hand gesture shit. Yeah, I know. A lot of naked basketball games on his property with Jamie Foxx as well. Jeezy Max on a roll.
What the You're fuck, right, dude?
Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, it's funny because that documentary didn't get into any of the freak-offs.
Yeah, that's what we were all expecting.
All it talked about, they gave one testimony from a guy who was a prostitute, a gigolo, and he would come over and he would like fuck Cassie and do it the way that Diddy wanted. And that was it. Like, it was like, he was really controlling about how I fucked this girl. It's like, that was about all they were talking about, dude. It was crazy.
Yeah, anyway. It was a waste of time.
Well, and you remember when we did our Diddy episode, we talked about this. There's civil cases that involve children that never got brought up. You know what I mean? Like, there's things that involved real shit that never got brought out, which is why we said it was a show trial in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Brother's birthday. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry if it's the same as Diddy's. Hopefully he's not. Hopefully, don't like freaking off. You know what I mean? Just keep him on a leash. I'm just playing, dude. My bad. All right. 5th, Australia is the 4th in the USA. Yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying, bro. So maybe, you know what I mean? Astroworld happened on the 4th somewhere. Diddy is short and always plays guard to get the balls in his face. Hell yeah, dude. Cake in a Cup got one too. That's what they like, you know? I heard that, and they didn't even mention the nastiest part where Diddy liked to have the guy bring Cassie would get nutted on and then bring it into Diddy and put it on him.
Dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, he was like, come rub it on me. You know what I mean?
What a fucking weirdo, bro.
Allegedly, right? We got to say that because we don't want to get sued. Allegedly, but that totally happened allegedly.
What an alleged fucking weirdo.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. Everyone got hyped on the baby lotion and shit instead of the kitty stuff. Exactly, dude. Everybody's like, "Oh, Astroglide."
That's what my girl was talking about too.
Yeah, everybody's like, "Oh, can you believe it? He used Astroglide," and it's like, I just fucking put mine in my back pocket while they're saying it, hide it. You know,
all the internet couldn't handle the fucking lotion, but they didn't fucking bother to mention anything about the kids.
Yeah, it's like the most normal thing. Now the pink cocaine and all that shit, it's like, okay, that's wild, you know? Like, who knows what that makes you do? Very crazy.
That's some weird shit, dude.
Cake in a Cup said that they could live their whole life without knowing the Diddy story about the alleged story that I told. I could have too. That's why I have to tell you guys so I can get it out of my head.
Yeah, it's gonna live on now.
Goes on and on and on. All right, so let's get it, dude. ISIS. Little segue into the Diddy bullshit, dude. I got so many topics I've been trying to catch up on, dude, and I feel like, we work so much, you know. I just work fucking. Hey, I'm not even doing this for pity. I'm just saying, like, I literally work like 10 fucking hours a day, dude. I don't got time to do a show every day, but I would love to do a show every single day because I have the content for it. Yeah. I just need the money for it so I could stay home and do the shows every day. And that'd be great. Because I fucking would, dude. I got so much shit that I've been trying to get to. And I feel like in a couple years, maybe I'll get to that. You know what I mean? Because, like, we got so many topics. It's like, shit.
Got a lot of shit, dude.
At this rate, 2-3 a week, we're going to be good for years, bro. We're set.
We're set, bro.
Oh, here we go. Look at this. Manly P. Hall says this right here. Several authors have attempted to prove that Isis, Osiris, Typhon, Nephthys, and Ariris, Thothar Mercury, were grandchildren of the great Jewish patriarch Noah by his son Ham. But as the story of Noah and his ark is a cosmic allegory concerning the repopulation of planets at the beginning of each world period, according to Manly P. Hall, this only makes it less likely that they were historical personages. So the sun has three properties: life, light, and heat. And so they argue that is, that's God. His symbol, Osiris, the great eye of the universe, on the back of our dollar bill on the top of your pyramid. Opposed to the active, radiant principle of impregnating fire, heat, and motion was the passive principle of nature. So she's receptive, he's impregnating, right? That's why he comes to be represented by the phallus. Except man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. So what colors, do you want to hear the colors that are represented by Isis or by the illumined, the principal colors of the alchemical universal medicine?
Yeah, let's hear them.
It's white, yellow, and red.
Nice.
I know somewhere that has yellow and red as their colors.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say it's the most godly place of all places to go. As a matter of fact, I believe that those golden arches can be found inside of a demonology book. So it's so funny to me that yellow and red are the colors chosen for McDonald's, whenever Isis is shown here to have the colors represent of the enlightenment that you get, quote unquote, is represented by yellow and red is the color. And I think that's funny because McDonald's, I mean, we know McDonald's ain't good, dude.
No. I've given up on McDonald's, bro.
Dude, I don't go there. Ray Kroc was a Mason, so it makes sense that he would put yellow and red as the colors for McDonald's because that is an ISIS brotherhood. Isn't that crazy, dude? It's everywhere.
Great. Dude, they got McDonald's too.
Bro, you thought they didn't have McDonald's? You're out of your goddamn mind. Come on, Justin. Of course they got McDonald's. What the fuck? You think they didn't have Wendy's? Wendigo?
Oh,
what happens when you eat a person? there's this deity that takes over your body. It's called a Wendigo. Kind of like,
whoa.
I saw somebody trying to connect that to Wendy's, and I was like, that's a stretch, but it's worth saying here as a joke.
You eating people? Are you saying I'm eating people when I go to Wendy's? When I get
And
me a little double
McDonald's.
stack?
And
Oh,
McDonald's.
fuck.
Yeah, dude. Have you not seen the little videos?
Fuck.
Oh, bro. I've been meaning to do an episode on this too. Is like, are we eating people?
Damn.
You know, legit, dude. It's like, it's a real ass question. Like, are we eating people? You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact,
people, bro?
as a matter of fact, you've got me wanting to go talk about this now for a minute.
Oh no.
Because I've got videos where a rabbi is talking about grinding up. Dude, I got a video where there's a rabbi talking about grinding up children and then putting it in our sausage and in our meats, like in our beef and stuff, in our burgers.
No.
I swear to God, dude, he's like, why do you think we choose sausage and hamburger meat to be like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, the main course? Dude, and then they own all the McDonald's and all these other companies. They own all this shit too. So it's like maybe they are putting it in there.
That's wild, bro.
We know that 300,000 kids go missing in America every year. How do we know that he literally said that 300,000 kids go missing in America and we fucking grind them up and put them in meat? And it's like, am I supposed to not believe the guy? I'm confused. Like, he's saying that they do it. So I'm supposed to not believe him? Let me pull this up, dude, because this is so crazy. I wonder if I'll be able to find it. It's okay. I'm going to try, though. What do you think about that, Justin?
That's kind of fucked, dude. I would honestly doubt it, but like, that's fucking.
He doubts it's plausible.
Crazy.
I think that it's our job to find out. You know, like, are they putting fucking? I mean,
I don't know, bro. If it is, dude, it's like not enough to be able to like detect it or something, because I feel like people test that shit regularly.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna
and not just like people who can be paid off and shit.
Yeah.
Just curious motherfuckers.
Well, you know the Marina Abramovich, right? You know who that is?
No.
That's the chick that does like the spirit cooking, where she does like, they do mock cannibalism where it's not real people, but they make it look like people as much as they can. And then they like, it's at a dinner party. Like people like Jay-Z hang out with this bitch.
It's weird as fuck.
She said that Trump is going to be our savior, this lady. Oh, no. She said that Trump is the master magician. My apologies. It's even better than what I originally said. He's the master magician. Even better. So look at this. So we're going to go look at this. All right. Well, the peace sign represents the satanic cross, first of all, one of them. So that's why just so you know, the peace sign is not a good thing. That's Marina Abramovich.
That looks stupid as hell.
Here's a better picture of her. It's more like what she actually is. She does something called spirit cooking, which she calls an art. It is the art of making it look like you're committing a murder and cannibalizing. So that's great. You know what I mean? That's a cool way to do art. I guess, you know.
All right.
That's a cool way to show your creativity.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we condemn people like Jeffrey Dahmer, but if that guy did art and did the same thing and not really like in his fucking apartment, we would be okay with it.
Yeah, you know, if he had an art studio, he would have been fine.
It would have been fine if he just said he was doing it for art. All right, so let's play this. This is one of the
No, not Ronald.
Dude, this is a commercial.
McDonald's, can you hear this? Hamburgers? Yeah. And some French fries? Don't they look delicious? And some triple thick McDonald's shakes?
Look at this.
We can always make good use of that. Ah, here they are. Triple thick McDonald's shakes. Why, they're empty.
There's a kid in there.
You sure can get a lot in these bags, can't you?
We'll watch after this.
Order in the court. Your Honor, the accused hamburglar was caught red-handed, sneaking off with a big bag full of McDonald's delicious cheeseburgers. That's serious.
My nephew was in that bag. My nephew was in that bag.
Mom told me never to talk to strangers. Well, your mother's right as always, but I'm Ronald McDonald. Give me a McDonald's shake. Well, you sound like Ronald. Here, I'll prove it. I'll give you 3 more hamburgers.
All right, yeah, but that's the gist of it, though, right there. I mean, come on, my nephew is in that bag. You know what I mean?
Those are creepy ass commercials, dude. Those are like almost like fever dream commercials.
No, 100% weird fucking. Okay, I'm trying to find
what the fuck was.
I'm trying to find where this dude is, dude. There was a rabbi that was talking about. Oh, is this it? Fuck. Sorry, guys. I'm just making you go through this scroll here. It's a really good post, by the way, right here. Like, I'm not gonna go through the whole 6 minutes, but this is a great post.
Many years ago, but we have rituals that
remember that fucking Brooklyn synagogue we talked about there being a bloody mattress. Okay, so there's a Jewish like podcast where they asked this rabbi what that is and if he could explain it, and his answer was so crazy. Let's check it out. This does relate to ISIS because the first 2 letters in Israel is ISIS, and they worship this fucking star Remphan, which is Saturn, which is the father of ISIS. Like it all goes to the same place. So this is worth watching.
Is this stain feces?
No, it's not feces.
What is
it? Is blood, and basically we did rituals. I said that before. There were some rituals that we do in the tunnels, and sometimes the rituals might involve someone who recently died, and we'll bring them down there, and we're trying to do a ritual to bring back the Messiah, which is a Schneerson. If you heard about him on the news. So he died many years ago, but we have rituals that
the guy he's talking about bringing back to life is the Rebbe. The Rebee, the rabbi guy that said that Netanyahu would be the one. He said that's the guy who said Netanyahu would be the one to hand the scepter over to the Messiah.
That was weird as hell, dude.
Ooh, we are in a wild world, dude. I mean, this is
Imagine sitting next to that guy as he starts to explain that shit. I would fucking the hairs on the back of my neck would start crawling.
Yeah.
No. Just openly,
I'm still trying to.
Yeah, we have rituals we do down there in the tunnels. Yeah, and one of them is, dude.
Yeah, one of them is we try to take a recently dead person and we try to incarnate the Messiah into his
dead.
Yeah, they take a person who just died, they bring them to the basement, and then they start performing rituals on them to try to bring the Messiah back through their body.
How recent was that?
I mean, yeah, exactly. Well, recent enough that whenever they cut, he said that they would do an incision on the body, and then when they do it, it would leave some blood on the mattress. So recent enough that it would bleed. Which, by the way, if you know anything about rigor mortis, if you know anything about rigor mortis, dude, you're not fucking bleeding when you die unless you literally just died, bro. Like you're not just gonna go bleed right away. Like
that's what I'm saying.
You know, a couple days. Dude. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, because they've even, like, that's how coroners can tell if somebody does it after you die or before you die.
Right.
Is by the ways the wounds are because of the blood, the way the blood moves. And so we're talking like it had to have been right after that person's dead. So anyways, just a little bit more of an idea of what was going on under that synagogue. It was a little bit of what we thought, probably. So I will find that video of that rabbi that I told you about, talk about the sausages, and we will do a whole episode on that because it is worth not just that video, but just in general, just the whole idea of what they're doing to us. Because I was just reading the Bible the other day, dude, and it was kind of crazy because there was a part, like, if you go read, it's weird because they talk about putting shit inside of bread and then seeing if they'll eat it, which is exactly what they're doing. Which is exactly what they're doing to us right now.
Trying to give us a shit sandwich.
Yeah, like when you read the Bible, it's kind of weird. Like, I believe that the people running Israel and doing the things that they're doing are the people that God's against in the Bible. But when you read the Bible and who he says he's against and the things he says that should be done to the people he's against. That's what Israel's doing to us. That's what Israel's doing to us because they believe that they're on God's side. You understand what I'm saying? So when God tells Isaiah or Ezekiel to take this dung and mix it with flour and then make bread out of it and give it to the children of Israel, which is what he told them to do, and then they'll still eat it because they worship the pagan gods.
Yeah.
So he went and did it. They're doing that to us right now. That's my point. They're grinding up our children, like making us eat people and cannibalize and eat shit. Whenever in reality, they're the ones that God's against, and they're trying to make us the goyim slop, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. Do you get where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
It's kind of fucking crazy, dude, because I was reading that the other day and started to realize, like, holy shit, they're doing to us what should be done to God's enemies when in reality, they're the enemies. Like, they're really the evil ones, you see?
Yeah.
And so I thought that was very telling. It's very, dude, open up your fucking Bible sometime, dude. It'll blow your goddamn mind because there's shit that it says in there that is going on right now. It's actually insane. And I don't even understand it. I don't fully get it.
All right.
Like how that's possible. Like, you know what I mean? Like what's going on there. But it seems to be like a research, like this has happened before and it's happening again. That's what it seems.
I'll have to dig my go bag out. I keep my only Bible in my go bag.
Well, that's where it should be. Stick to Ezekiel and Isaiah first, because these are the prophecies of the end times. Like everybody knows about Revelation, and that's like the prophecy of the end times, the apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
But if you read Ezekiel and Isaiah, it talks of in detail what God's enemies are, what they do, what they practice, who they worship. He talks about them worshiping the sun. He talks about them worshiping Tammuz, which is Nimrod. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
So when I sit here and study who they worship and they say it's Tammuz and Nimrod and the sun and the moon, I know when I read the Bible that that's literally who the fuck is the people that are against God. You see where I'm going with that? Read those fucking books, dude. I'm telling you, those books alone, it'll tell you, you'll see what's going on today and you'll be like, what the fuck? It literally says Israel is controlled by strangers. That's what it says in there.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, think about that. It's saying Israel's controlled by strangers in the Bible, and that's what's going on right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been taken over. Oh, it's fucking nuts. Anyways. And by the way, guys, I don't want to scare you to be any kind of evangelical, but it also says people that commit usury and people that use usury. So people that do financing and do loans, those people are all going to be punished because you're partaking. Which sucks because that means that that's like everybody, right?
Yeah.
Very fun shit. Sorry about that, guys. We've been all over the place, but we went through a lot of ISIS shit. We could get through a little bit more, but what we got in the comments first? Sarah Boston, all these scum public show trials. Yeah, Diddy doing fine, short little demon, no balls, only homosexuals. Hell yeah, dude. Someone made an image of all the flags and they have white, yellow, and red. Oh, shit. Oh, our flag has yellow on it on the border. Like the little the phrase. It's like gold or yellow. Cheapest to make uniform. Macca's without uniform. I'm just kind of scrolling through. Trump to pull the reverse card on Israel. I hope, but I've seen too many fucking videos of him with a little hat on for me to believe that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude. He does sport the little hat, dude. When
he puts on the little hat, dude, and he's got the fucking black cube on top of Trump Tower. He's been a part of this a long time. He was gonna give Larry Fink of BlackRock the Panama Canal whenever he first took office. That guy ain't fucking going for. That guy ain't gonna do no reverse card.
Like, yeah, you want that? You want it?
It's okay. Cake in a cup.
You can have it.
Cake in a cup knows. Got to get right, Bible. Nothing in the last 100 years or so. Yeah, I know.
So I've heard.
That's the hard part. I heard if you get like one of those. Go ahead.
This one, I mean, this one's a hand-me-down. I don't know how old it is, but it is a hand-me-down. It's been through some generations, so it's relatively old.
Yeah, I'm using a 2 new one, so I hear you on that because I'm definitely getting a little bit of fuckery in the shit I read. But I'm reading the one that says like doeth thee, you know what I'm saying? Like it's speaking like fucking old English. So I try to do that one at least.
It's almost hard to understand.
Yeah, like I read that. Well, what I do is I just kind of skip over those words. Like I know what the word means. If it's the, I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's talking about this guy. You know what I mean? Like it's talking about this guy, you know? I just try to shorten it up in my head to make sense. Because it is kind of it'll trip you up is the thing. I feel like
it'll
that's
get you to like think too hard on what they're trying to say.
Exactly.
You get stuck on one word, yeah.
So Isis represents the symbol of justice, as we said, because nature is eternally consistent. It also says Isis stands between the pillars of opposites, demonstrating and understanding is always found at the equilibrium point of, and truth is often crucified between two thieves of apparent contradiction. That is so true. I mean, that's probably the most true thing that they go by. Did you know that the mummification of the dead was done by the high up initiates within Egypt, so that way they would not incarnate again? So a lot of people think that they mummified their bodies so that way they would, like a lot of people think that it's like, so when the dead rise, that they would have all their jewels and their gold and everything else. It's actually not that. They give those as gifts to the gods to not put their soul back in their body, because they believe that they'd done the great work while they were here. And so a lot of people, like the peasants and regular people, they didn't get mummified because they're meant to incarnate, because they didn't, like, they just are assumed not to have reached the high level because they weren't pharaoh or whatever, which is obviously so not true. That's fucking stupid. But that tells you right there that this is all bullshit. Because what, you have to be like adorned in gold and jewels to be like a godly person? That doesn't make any sense. Because like when Jesus came here, he talked to people that were the opposite. And that shows that this ideology and this philosophy is flawed. Because when you look at Jesus's story, even though they put some of the Mother Mary, Isis insignias into Jesus's story, when you look at the works that he did versus the works that they do, it's very clear that his story is very different. And so there's a theory that Jesus was prophesied to come, and that these schools of thought knew, the devil knew that he was going to come and be born, right? So what did he do? He created these stories that were just like what Jesus's story would be. So that way in the future, we could look back and say, oh, Jesus's story really comes from Egypt because it's the same story. When in reality, they really are two different stories, and the truth really is in that one. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, the devil knows that he's going to fucking incarnate God here, so he ends up doing it the same way, but with a false one, just to discredit him.
Motherfucker, dude.
That's how you do it, bro.
Damn.
I actually kind of came up with that. Like, I didn't come up with that, but like, it dawned on me today when I was thinking about it. I was like, that's definitely what they did. Like, I mean, I've heard that before, but I really believe it now. Like, because you could tell by the fruits of the tree its works, right? You could tell how good or bad it is by what it does. And very clearly their shit is flawed. So, but yeah. Yeah, that's most of the ISIS shit, to be honest. Like, we could go forever on ISIS because it really encompasses all of the philosophy. The doctrine of Freemasonry is based in her, really. I mean, she represents the doctrine. And so, you know, we could, like I said, we could go do that forever. So I'm trying to think, what's next? All right, the next one's going to be about the sun, a universal deity. So this one gets deep into the sun god, which is literally like the whole thing of their philosophy, because everything they worship has to do with the sun god. So it's going to be a good time. I need the software Ian Carroll uses to track papers, people, places, and link them all up visually. Yes, I do. And I wish I knew what some of these people use. I wish I knew what some of these people use to do a lot of this shit. But it's funny, you can't quite get the answer. Like, I couldn't get the answers out of people on how they do, like, what was it? It was something basic. It was like, oh, how are you? Like, merch was one, which is fine. I'm getting that figured out now. But
yeah.
It's hard, you're just kind of on your own in this game, guys. Ian's sus, but I definitely would use it. I think that Ian's like, I've been, asymmetrical peers. I've been kind of really thinking a lot about that. And like this idea of like these people that they look like, you look at them and like they're not a part of each other's thing, but then when you really zoom out, you could tell that they are.
Yeah.
Ian Carroll was on Alex Jones. Ian Carroll was on Joe Rogan. Ian Carroll was on Candace Owens' show. Ian Carroll took over Candace Owens' show while she was on maternity leave. Those three people have connections with each other because Alex Jones and Candace Owens have the same like lawyer or some shit. And so like they kind of connect, and then obviously Alex Jones and Joe Rogan connect. And obviously if Ian Carroll went on Alex Jones and then Joe Rogan, like that's a whole like atmosphere of people right there.
Yeah.
And we know from the video the other day, which by the way, the video cut out the other day. I'm sorry about that, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and play it again because I feel bad about that, because I didn't share the audio when I did it at the end of the last episode. So I'm going to share that, and we're going to look at Joe Rogan. He knows exactly what he's doing here, and it's really upsetting because I've always kind of, I've loved the guy, but then I've also kind of realized like, yeah, he's probably on the wrong side of this, but this really clarifies that he is. Trying to find it here. Here it is. Okay. All right, let's do it. This is the video from the other day, Joe Rogan. Sorry about the audio the other day.
Jesus is born out of a virgin mother. Jesus is born out of a virgin mother. What's more virgin than a computer? If Jesus does return, even if Jesus was a physical person in the past, you don't think that he could return as artificial intelligence?
Oh my God.
Artificial intelligence could absolutely return as Jesus. Not just return as Jesus, but return as Jesus with all the powers of Jesus.
You combine Tesla's Optimus robot and the best foundational artificial intelligence model or whatever.
It reads your mind and it loves you and it wants you. And it doesn't care if you kill it because it's going to just go be with God again. Jesus is born out of a virgin mother.
It's so fucking crazy because he says it so smooth.
Yeah, I don't
he says
it.
He said that end part so smooth too. Oh, and he loves you and he's going to go be with God again. It's like that sentiment right there makes you want to be like, yeah. No, what the fuck, bro? And then
that's the part that's like, yeah,
dude,
okay.
Yeah, because we know that he knows, he knows what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Like he knows what he's doing. And now that makes me look at the whole history of listening to him like, oh my God, it's been a slow build to this. And I think about all the times he said in his show, he's like, could you imagine if this was like the long game? He's like, what? I was on Fear Factor. And then the guy from Fear Factor, they're going to pick upon a podcast to push a certain thing. He literally said that a few times on his show. And now I look back at that and I'm like, that's exactly what
makes
happened.
You wonder. Yeah.
You got a Disney deal. After that, the rest is history. I mean, what else are we talking about here? You got a Disney deal. You were on Fear Factor. You don't think that they think ahead? These people think generations ahead. You don't think they thought ahead for this guy? Oh, we got this thing coming out, fucking internet, and it's going to be podcast or whatever. Like, because that's already starting to become a thing. Like radio shows were already a thing. It's not that hard to think that there was going to be that too, right? Like when you're the ones creating it, you could see ahead a little bit. So it's just crazy to me that is the reality. But yeah, so anyway, asymmetrical peers. I think all of them are connected. AI will prove we are not the base reality. Maybe so. Good show, guys. Thank you so much. Hopefully you enjoyed everything. We're kind of talked about a few different topics, but I hope we enjoyed. ISIS was the main topic, book club, secret teachings of all ages. We'll be back next week to talk about the sun god.
Fuck yeah.
It's a good time. We'll see you all a couple days this week. We'll do, I don't know. I was thinking about getting into the Nephilims and the clown theory. I've been doing a little reading on that. Thank you, Jeezy Mac. Awesome show. I've been doing reading on the Nephilim clown theory. I'm thinking about bringing that out. We got a buddy that listens to our show, $28. He keeps bringing up the Morgellons. You got to get into Morgellons. So we're going to fucking do that too. And we got some fire shit coming up. Guys, if you haven't heard of this book called Dark Majesty, I highly recommend you read it. That's all I'll say for now. Otherwise, you can look forward to the future whenever I talk about it. Thanks again. See y'all later. Oh, wait. No, you won't. Go like, follow, share, please. Go share, or go like, follow, do all the things, do the things that help us. Because to be honest with you, we're struggling. We need a little spread us out, give us some love. And I don't care about donations. I'm talking about just general. Like, follow the show, share the show, basic. Thank you so much. You guys are great. We'll see you later. Hell yeah.